But Lacrosse, I'm pleased to say, have retained this for the start of the fly.
Right, so here we go. This is the final of the fly. All to play for. The glory game. Liv Wimpney and Laura Merrifield to take the draw. And it's gone up, taken cleanly by Liv Wimpney there. Laura Merrifield collides with Hen Watson there, but all okay. Oh, Hen's gone off. I think she's okay.
I think that was tactical. Liv Wimpney driving. And they've got to be mindful, 10 seconds.
Fantastic save there from Katie Greenwood. He finds Tors Anderson, passes it off to Laura Merrifield. Just holding it nicely here, Swift. Oh, and that's a lovely shot. Lovely change of hands there from the normally left-handed Tors Anderson to find her right-hand low shot there. Past Emily Chandler, who has had a fantastic tournament.
Yes, she's led well, hasn't she, as the captain and the goalkeeper of the Forge, and she'll be a little frustrated with herself, but I'm sure that she'll come into this game as we go through.
Nice clear out, well taken low take there from Swift number 1, Laura Warren. Pass it off to Tors Anderson, who looks threatening as she comes in, but she's double teamed and forced out. Bit of a sloppy pass there to Miranda Nichols, who's already back in the defensive end. Still 1-0 to Swift as Forge's Alex Drew passes off to Liv Wimpney. Just slowed it down a bit here. That's a fantastic quick stick in there from Liv Wimpney. Alex Drew to Liv Wimpney. It's that quick stick we talked about yesterday. You know, it's that push rather than a hit.
Yeah, and that was really well seen by Alex Drew. And Liv doesn't miss many of those when she gets the opportunity. And it's good to see those two young players interacting to bring the scores level.
Miranda Nichols passes it off to Tors Anderson, who is double teamed. But she gets it to Laura Merrifield, who makes it through. And it's a rare miss there from Laura Merrifield. Or was there a tip on the save? I've got a little gazebo just in my blind spot there.
I think that's, as you say, it's unusual for Laura Merrifield to not actually put that ball on target. It's not that it was saved, she missed the target, and she'll be frustrated with herself about that. These girls hold really high standards, so she'll be wanting to make sure that that doesn't happen again. And Alex Drew, once again, driving, but Katie Greenwood comes out with the ball.
Yeah, I don't think that the shot was quite on there. She had a lot of defenders on her. She could maybe just pulled it out a bit and found one of her teammates instead, because any shot that doesn't come off is almost a waste. But thrown off the side there, a bit sloppy from Katie Greenwood, so the ball goes back to Forge.
Was great pressure by Ellie Jones, though, on that put the pressure on Katie Greenwood, and that's why she ended up throwing the ball off. Laura Merrifield defending with strength there. Oops.
Liv Higson pass it off to Liv Wimpney, who butts into Laura Merrifield a little bit there. This is great defensive work here from Swift. And it's a wonderful save. Liv Wimpney went for the low, almost, I don't know what you would call it. In the old days, we would have called it a shovel.
Yeah, I was thinking that must be a shovel shot there, but Laura Warren, the ever youthful Laura Warren, running down with the ball. She has a great step. Tors Anderson taking that high left-hand shot.
She's got a fantastic shot on her, Tors Anderson. The placement is great. And Emily Chandler just shuffles down the pitch with the ball to find her Forge teammate Anna Saunter, who's driving, but a great defence here from Swift. It forces the drop from Liv Wimpney. Picked up there by Miranda Nichols off to Tors Anderson. Still at 2-1. Just slowed it down a little bit here, Swift. Laura Merrifield just taking control from the top. There's a few picks going on, but not quite managed that one. She's double teamed, but she's still come out with the ball. A lovely worm burner there from Laura Warren, Happy days. I'd give her 5 for that one. But that's because I'm a bit biased to a worm burner.
I've just heard that the first goal by the Forge was disallowed for somebody stepping in the crease. So the actual score now is 3-0 to Swift.
Okay, a swift start to proceedings, one might say. Let's see, a few team chats going on here. Just a quick 30 seconds. You can see Coach Karina Walsh still waving at her team and clapping as she walks away from them. Their players jogging back into position. Laura Warren just having a quick chat with a few of her teammates before she heads back to where she was. You see Liv Wimpney starting off with the ball. There's another white headband going on there. The fashion at the moment.
Ellie Jones with the ball. She's driving quite a bit. We just need to make something on the end of it now. And there's a shot from Liv Wimpney, but saved by Katie Greenwood, and Anna Neville comes away with the ball.
She needs to look up a little bit there. Yeah, oh, unlucky. Great save there by Emily Chandler. Perhaps if Anna Neville just had that vision a couple of seconds earlier, she would have been able to look up, make that pass a little bit sooner. But instead it was saved. It's gone up the other end, and that's a Forge goal. The ball's with Swift goalkeeper Katie Greenwood. She finds Laura Warren on the halfway line.
Another good save by Emily Chandler. This really is a game for the keepers. And Anna Saunter turns Katie Greenwood and puts that ball in the net.
You could see where she was coming from. She had the vision to see that that Forge player was hanging out up the top unmarked. So she had to make that decision early, whether she was going to take her or hang back in her goal. Either way, it was a one-on-one with the goalkeeper, and in theory the attacker should make that every time.
Yeah, Anna Saunter did well to turn away from the goalkeeper so that it made it relatively straightforward for her. If she turned the other way, she would have turned straight into Katie Greenwood. So good work for the youngster Anna Saunter, who's only 20, so she's still one of the youngsters on the pitch.
So it's still 3-2. Barely anything in it.
Yeah, and Forge have come back strongly because they were 3 goals down, remember? So, you know, to now be 3-2. But I think that's going to go over the halfway line. So they're just going to leave that. Alice Ripper runs straight past it to get into a defensive position against probably one of her best mates off the pitch, Anna Neville.
There's a green card there going for Liv Wimpney. So Tors Anderson with the ball up top here. Remember, they're a man up just at this moment. And you can see Swift have cottoned on to Forge's favourite tactic of leaving a player hanging out up near the goal.
And that's really smart coaching by Conor Dockery, because they went to play her down, but instead of staying with 4 back, he's moved one player up front. It didn't pay off for them there, but they put pressure on them straight away to make sure that they could get there.
Right, so Liv Wimpney makes her way back onto the pitch. Alex Drew drives through 500 million defenders, but doesn't quite get the shot off at the end. A nice save there by Katie Greenwood. Ball goes off the back and picked up by Forge's number 38, Anna Saunter, who finds Alex Drew again. 39
seconds to go in this quarter, so both teams, one will be trying to hold them and the other will be trying to score just before the final whistle of this first quarter.
I always think it's good to go into a break with that momentum, you know. Oh, unlucky there from Liv Wimpney. But she's found the rebound, but doesn't quite find the back of the net, just off the side there. So in possession of Katie Greenwood again. Oh, that is a wonderful take. That's the kind of thing you want a picture of on your wall.
Yeah. And Laura Warren puts that away, so that means 5-2 as we closing stages of...
And that was all thanks to that fantastic take from Emma Brown there, but the quick reactions there by Forge to get it back and earn themselves another goal.
And that's the end-to-end nature of this game. That was an exciting last couple of minutes, wasn't it, Georgie?
Yes, so we finished that quarter 5-2, yeah. 5-3, I should say. Yeah, so it was nice. Just two very quick goals in the last sort of 10 seconds there. But that's the exciting thing about this game, that can happen.
Yeah, and what's nice is that there's only a 2-goal difference now, and that means that can so easily be overtaken. I think any team that gets beyond 4 goals is very much in the ascendancy, but 2 goals is nothing in this game.
And I think especially in a final, you know, you want that mentality can be a little bit different, a bit of pressure on, maybe a few more nerves than earlier on in the day or in the tournament. So, yeah, if you get 4 goals behind, you can start thinking, maybe, even though you know it can be pegged back quite quickly. So, yeah, just 2-goal difference. It's all to play for still.
And in fact, if you saw the previous game, then that's where Rise just turned the screw, and they turned the screw, and they turned the screw. And I'm sure that's what Coach Karina Walsh will be saying to her players now is, let's just make this count. So we just keep turning up the heat on the Forge. And Conor Dockery will be expecting his players to come out strongly, like they finished that last minute of the quarter.
And talking of turning up the heat, the sun is finally coming out on us. It's only taken 24 hours.
That's right, but you know, the best things come to those who wait. So we've been waiting, and here it is, and it's the same with this game. We've been waiting for this game for the whole tournament, and here it is, and it's 5-3. Very exciting.
Yeah, and also, interestingly, up until this point, there's still a 100% record for the Swift.
Yeah, and that will be hard to topple, but I think if anybody can do it, then the Forge will give them a good run for their money. They've got 1 or 2 good players. I think the addition of Alex Drew this weekend has been a real bonus for the Forge.
So here we go again for the beginning of the second quarter. Currently 5-3 in favour of the Swift, but as we know, can change very quickly. I think Laura Merrifield went a little bit early on that draw. So Liv Wimpney to get the ball. Players put themselves in position. You can see Forge using their subs quite cleverly.
Yeah, I think Conor Dockery's worked with the girls really well. He'll be a new coach to them. He's done a lot of work in the talent pathway in the academies, and now this is a good one for his team to pull another goal back there, and by Olivia Higson.
Yeah, that was well played there by Liv, wasn't it?
It really was. You know, I don't think Katie was expecting that low shot, and Olivia came away. So it's 5-4 now, and that's what I was saying about that 2-goal difference is never a safe distance away from the opposition.
Good vision there from Tors Anderson to find Laura Merrifield, but that change of hands couldn't quite come off for her. She's missed the goal, but Swift have retained it. But as we know, the shot clock will still be running down. Ball goes to goalkeeper Emily Chandler, who finds Liv Wimpney.
Alice Ritter looking around, gives it to Alex Drew.
Sounds like Conor Dockery shouting Reggie.
That's what I thought he was shouting as well. I'm not sure who Reggie is, but that's obviously some...
Interesting. Maybe we'll ask him about that one afterwards. The only Reggie I know is my pub landlord, so I don't think it's about him. Liv Wimpney marked by... Oh, that's a wonderful interception there by Laura Warren, who legs it down the pitch. One-on-one with the goalkeeper. That's just fantastic. It was one of those you worry that maybe someone slightly less experienced might almost have too much time to think about the goal and would just put it straight in the stick, trying to be too clever. But that was nicely played by her, and she deserved that one.
Yeah, and that's almost what I was talking about at the beginning. She's such a youngster when she's on the field. I mean, the speed that she moved away from the opposition there and had the experience then to actually look about where am I going to put the ball. I'll fake and I'll dummy and then I'll just put it in. Great play from Laura Warren.
Goes to Wales international Miranda Nichols, who goes for the slingshot but doesn't come off. There's a yellow card going there to Georgie Greenwood.
Yeah, she didn't look like she knew why she got that card there, but the umpire, Laura Owen, has said that she pushed her from behind, so she's now on the penalty chair.
She's gone all Little Britain on us. She pushed me.
Yes. And this is where they can be dangerous, when they've got a player up and they've got the likes of Laura Warren, Tors Anderson, Laura Merrifield, and there's the goal from Tors Anderson.
Her precision today has been tip-top.
Yeah, and I'm really impressed with the way she's shooting right-handed and not just left-handed, because as you said earlier, she's very much a left-hander.
Yeah, we always knew that on this circuit, that she was the lefty to watch. I remember watching her at the Under-19 World Cup, and she was just prolific scorer there. But I think that was the days of the peroxide blonde Tors Anderson that we all know and love.
Yes, she does change her hair on a regular basis, and there are times when I go to a squad session and I don't know who it is, and then I realise it's Tors.
That's a nice finish there by Ford. So score is currently 7-5. Yeah, maybe Tors doesn't need to go for the peroxide blonde Phil Foden hair that lots of boys around the country are sporting following the Euros.
Yeah, I think I saw Sam Curran with...
Yes, I'm not sure about that one.
No, me neither.
Each to their own.
But Forge coming away, Olivia Hickson.
That's a fantastic shot there.
Sorry, beg your pardon, Ellie Jones.
It's a great low shot there. Ellie Jones, almost televised, but even then, it was so precise, there wasn't really anything goalkeeper Katie Greenwood could do about it.
And we're back to that 1 goal difference with a good... with a missed shot, and the ball going now to Emily Chandler, the goalkeeper, who brings it out onto play, sends a longish clear out to her team. Alice Ripper on the ball there. Now it's Olivia Hickson.
Another of the white ninja headbands going on there. Seems to be a thing in this Forge side. Perhaps we're thinking team-branded headbands next time.
I think the fly is generating a lot of that team branding.
That's a great save again there by Swift goalkeeper Katie Greenwood, having a great game. Doesn't really surprise me too much. She's twice been the NCAA goalie of the year, so she's got quite a nice CV to boast.
Yes, and been in the England women's setup now for a number of years, and was really looking forward to going to John Hopkins this year, but now it's been moved to next year, so she's looking forward to hopefully being selected next year for the England team to go to the World Championships.
And then looking ahead of the World Championships, we're also going to have the World Games.
Yep.
Which will be including the sixes.
Yes, I think, you know, as we've seen here, it's a very exciting end-to-end game that I certainly know that a lot of people who haven't watched lacrosse before are like, crikey, this is a game to watch. You know, where has this game been? You know, this should be better supported than it is. It should be in more places than it is. And I think particularly as we've just seen the Olympics, I think certainly a lot of people in England are saying, why isn't it in the Olympics?
It's the kind of thing you would tune into at some ridiculous hour in the morning when you wake up, like I was doing with skateboarding this week, and then you find yourself 2 hours later still watching it, being like, well, there goes my 8 hours sleep, but totally worth it.
Yeah, I think so. And it's, you know, it's a game that everybody can be involved in. You know, I think it's a real great spectator sport, but the players are so athletic, so quick, fastest game on 2 legs, that I think it speaks for itself. Oh, great turn there by Olivia Winfinning.
Yeah, nice turn and finish there to bring it all square at 7-all. Great pick up there.
Zoe Loverbond coming down the pitch, the youngster on the pitch. Great pass to Georgie Greenwood, who just misses it. That's Scotland against Wales there. And who's going to come out with the ball?
So we've got 2 forwards taking on the age and experience of Laura Warren. Bit of gardening and digging going on in that corner, but I'll let them off.
And Laura Warren being told to go and have a rest. So they've got two off now. Both Laura Warren and Laura Merrifield are both on penalty chairs, but Laura Merrifield just returns.
You'd be relieved as a Swift player to see that.
You would, you know, to have lost one of your most experienced internationals is hard, but to lose both of them is like, oh my goodness, that really is a...
Well, this is interesting. So we've gone for a timeout here, and it's 7-all. And I'm not going to lie, I wasn't predicting it to be this close.
No, and that's, I think, Conor Dockery, the coach of the Forge, has really got his players working together. They know what they're doing. We don't know what his calls are, but they obviously know what his calls are. You know, what was the one with
Reggie?
Reggie. We'll have to ask him what Reggie is, but they seem to know what he's asking them. He obviously is speaking with clarity and with precision, and they're following his instructions, and they're producing the game so far that they want to produce in this final.
Yeah, it's a very impressive performance from them thus far. So Forge in possession. Alex Drew just indicating with her head, sending it behind the goal. I just love how lacrosse you can go behind the goal. It adds such a dynamic to a sport that's already so exciting. And that is the first time in the game that Forge have gone ahead. So it's currently 8-7. Laura Merrifield sets off up the pitch.
And they'll now try to deny them the shot because there's only just under 30 seconds to go, and obviously with the shot clock they'll want to deny them that shot and go into the half-time break 1-up.
Off to Tors Anderson, who takes a look at the shot clock before she just... And she takes the shot, and it comes off, so that's 8-all. Two fat ladies. That was a fantastic retaliation there from Tors Anderson. She had the vision and the awareness to take that shot, but then also the calmness to put in a precise shot. As I lose my laptop from the table.
Good catch, Georgie, good catch. So 10 seconds to go, possession back to the Swift, and they make no mistake. And
they weren't happy being behind in the goals, were they?
No.
Maybe it was just that kick up the backside they needed.
Just thinking I hadn't heard the buzzer, but the teams had decided that that was the half time. So
right.
9-8.
Oh, half time. 9-8 to the Swift. Interesting first half, Jane.
Very interesting, and I think Forge probably have scared Swift a little bit, because I think Swift were expecting to just walk away with this because they've been unbeaten throughout the tournament. And I think they just thought, oh, we'll just carry on doing what we've always done, and we'll get what we've always got. But Forge have come out here and they said, no way, we're going to change that.
No way, sister.
No way.
No, so, well, that's the thing with a final. You come into it and it can be anyone's. You know, there's two teams, there's one winner.
That's right. And, you know, Forge were a goal up with 40 seconds to play, but we look at the scoreboard and Swift have turned that round. They were 8-7 up, and Swift scored 2 goals in that last 40 seconds.
Yeah, we see the teams just getting...
I'm here with Liv Wimpenny, Forge player, half-time. I know you haven't got long, so we won't take up too much of it. Talk us through that opening half so far.
Yeah, extremely tight tight game. You know, we knew Swift were going to come out absolutely fighting for it going into the game. They've not lost a game yet, whereas we have. So, you know, maybe the bit of the underdogs going in, but expect an exciting second half.
I mean, we've just seen there how much things can change in literally 30 seconds. I mean, it's completely end-to-end stuff, isn't it? How do you keep up as a player?
Yeah, you know, you just got to keep your head in the game, constantly subbing, getting fresh legs on there so you can get up and down as fast as you can, really.
And you're playing arguably the favourites in Swift. How do you beat them? What do you do in the second half differently?
Got to come out there, keep fighting. You know, yesterday we were down, I think, 8-1 against Rise. We came back and ended winning 14-12. So, you know, we've got a bit of fight in the team.
And as a player, your thoughts on the sixes format so far?
Love it. It's really fast, very exciting, as you can see, and the scoreline is just, you know, very exciting the whole way through.
Liv, really appreciate your time at half-time. Go and join your team. Look forward to seeing you at the end of the game.
Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot. Thank you so much. Cheers.
Up front, and she scored goals.
Oh, fantastic.
Every goalkeeper wants to score goals, don't they? So she actually had that opportunity in the last game of the tournament.
Yeah, show them that you can do it too. I actually went from being a straight attack to being a goalkeeper. Maybe I just got lazier in my old age.
And the shot clock runs down there, so they lose possession, and Katie Greenwood goes after the ball to restart.
Yeah, Liv Wimperney had the awareness to try and take that shot, but it wasn't quite in time, so she wasn't able to take the shot that she would have liked, I don't think. Here's Tors Anderson again, who looks up top for Laura Warren. Some good defence going on here from forward. Great communication. It's very loud out there today.
It is. I think that maybe they've learnt each other's names, but they get a great shot there from India Chadwick. She'll be delighted with that, because that takes her team 2 goals ahead now.
There's a little fight going on there, but Katie Greenwood comes out happily with the ball and feeds it off to India Chadwick again, who goes for the long pass, but it's intercepted, but still picked up. Nice little one-handed pick up there from Tors Anderson. She's a very good player. She's having a great day.
Yes.
It's a lovely finish. I do know that it'll be her dad's birthday today, so she's playing for him.
Well, he'll be enjoying his birthday just as much as she's enjoying. She'll enjoy recognising who he was by the way she's playing this game.
She is a fantastic player, though, and she always has been. And look, Swift out. We're on for another time out here, so Swift players looking happy. The momentum is in their favour.
It certainly is. They're 3 goals ahead, and there's been some outstanding play from various individuals Who's stood out to you so far in this first half as we go into the second?
I mean, I'm always one to celebrate the goalkeepers, and I think they've both put in a great performance today, quietly. But Alex Drew, who didn't play in the first weekend, has come out and she's put her mark on this tournament, which is always good to see from a young player. And she plays with such maturity, I always think. Like, she might be younger than some of the others, but she's still out there, she's still controlling the game, and she's still able to, you know, show that she can play with some of the veterans of the game.
Yeah, she's what you call an impactful player, and I think she...
And perfectly on cue, she finds the back of the net.
And Laura Merrifield is taking a penalty break because I think she caught the head as she went through.
Forge in possession again, find the back of the net. So they've made a good start again following that timeout, the Forge. So that is now 11-10 with another 5.5 minutes remaining in this quarter. Laura Warren passes it off to Skylar Neal. Oh, and unlucky there. She's gone for the chase, but she remembered that in the tennis-side game, you must follow your shot. But because she's missed there, it's change of possession, and it goes to Emily Chandler, who feeds it up the pitch. Unlucky there. Couldn't quite find Liv Wimpney in the centre there, so back with the goalie. Nice long clear. Good vision there from Katie Greenwood.
India Chadwick to Anna Neville into Laura Warren. Laura Warren is trying to find some space there. Puts it to round, and in we go. Laura Warren takes the shot and saved by Emily Chandler, who sends that long ball to Anna Saunter. That's reminiscent of the first day that we were here.
That is almost a mirror image of what we were saying in their first game. You know, they clocked onto that one very quickly, and she was unlucky there, Katie Greenwood. She saw it, but there was just nothing she could do about that at that point.
But Emily Chandler will be saying that's an assist by me.
Oh yeah, 100%. Laura Merrifield just looks to take on Liv Wimpney. Teammates, usually in the England setup. That's a lovely interception there by Forge's number 30, Alice Ripper. Sounds like a very Aussie surname, if you ask me. What a ripper.
Oh, and there's another nice goal by the Forge, by Liv Wimpney.
And so Forge are now ahead again. So it's 12-11. Can Swift fight back in the same way they did last time? Need to just work on this stick work a little bit. You've got to watch it in when you start getting tired at this kind of time in the game.
Yeah, great shot there by Emma Brown to draw the scores level. So that's all square. And we've got 3 minutes 35 of this third quarter left.
Trying to work something here, Forge. You've got to be wary of that shot clock.
8 seconds, 7 seconds. You need to take the shot.
That's
but Laura Warren steals the ball, gives it ahead to Laura Merrifield.
She's just going to take her time. Oh, I would not want to be that goalkeeper. Thank you very much.
She's not going to miss that one.
She wasn't going to. She went for a couple of fakes. You almost wondered if it was a less experienced player, would you think she's sort of panicking herself with one too many fakes? But no, it's Laura Merrifield. She knows what she's doing.
Yes, I agree. And I think that's the advantage that Swift have got, is that experience out there that can just make sure that those chances come into fruition.
That's well taken there by Miranda Nichols, who nice change of hands there, low left-handed shot. And Forge have gone for that long clear again. And Ed's found the back of the net. That's something that they've really mastered, that fast break art there, haven't they? Because Emily Chandler's got that awareness to make the long clear. And they sort of leave that player, they're like, okay, right, we trust our goalkeeper enough to have one less in the defence.
But Anna Saunter has taken that long pass very well.
She has, yes.
She's one of the youngsters out there. She's only 20 as well. She's still at university, but she's showing a lot of maturity in the way she finishes off that long ball. And I'm see that Emily Chandler's looking for her again, but it's not open at this time, so she gives a nice easy ball to Alice Ripper. So want to say that's a ripper of a shot.
Oh, you do, don't you? What a ripper! Oh, Liv Wimperney taken out there by Tors Anderson, who doesn't even wait for the card and is off to the plastic seat. You almost think maybe they don't make them comfortable purposely.
Yeah.
The punishment chair.
Yes, it's bad enough going off, isn't it? But when you get a plastic chair.
The plastic punishment pew.
But can Forge take the advantage? And
No.
no, they can't, because that's a little bit naive.
It's one of those ones that's very satisfying to take as a goalkeeper, but also it is a little bit lack of game awareness and intelligence from a player when they pass it and a goalkeeper just pops up their stick like that. You've got to remember how big that stick is and the amount of space it can cover.
Anna Saunter sent off for a push there. So I think we're all square numbers-wise on the pitch at this moment in time. Oh, yes.
Georgia Greenwood just been subbed on there. Tapes on her knees.
Whenever Laura Merrifield comes back on the pitch, you must be thinking, oh, we've got to keep her away. We've got to keep her.
Yeah, and they did well there, actually, Forge. They pushed her to take the shot on a bad angle.
That's exactly right. And I'm sure that Coach Dockery will be delighted with that defence. And that's what this game is now, very attritional. It's about who can hang on and be the most disciplined and who can create the chances and then put them away. Liv Wimperney directing her team where to go. And while she does that, we're down to 8 seconds on the shooting clock.
And we're also into the final 30 seconds of this quarter, with Swift still leading 14-13, so barely anything in it.
Yeah, I mean, for me, as a coach, I'd be saying something like, look, around 20 seconds, you've got to be looking for the shot. Don't leave it still till we get into the last 10.
That was well seen by Laura Warren. If you could see the determination on her face as she received that, there was nowhere else that was going than the back of the net.
And there's that long ball to Anna Saunter again.
That's a wonderful check from behind there from Laura Merrifield, just on the hooter. Right, so we are going into the final quarter of this final of the first ever version of the Fly. And it's 15-13 in favour of the Swift.
And still that 2 goals. You know, it's still not out of reach yet for the Forge. And so I know that Coach Walsh will be really sort of reinforcing the pattern of play that she wants from the players. She'll be reminding them of keeping it simple, keep doing the things that we've been doing, but make sure that you concentrate. Whereas Coach Dockery will be like, now's the time, let's turn up the heat.
And at the same time, it was nice to hear from the coaches before. They were saying, you know, just enjoy it. And I think that's the kind of thing you put in the better performances, when you are enjoying it. And when you get those passages of play that are just strung together so nicely, you can see that the players are just loving it.
I think it's one of those games, isn't it, that when you're playing good lacrosse, that you actually really enjoy it because you're moving quickly, you're moving freely, you've got interconnection between the group, and it's just one of those games that you know you're in a team.
Yeah, and they've really gelled because they're not on there for an hour. They're on for 4 sets of 8 at a time. And so teams that were just put together a couple of weeks ago, not had that much time together, it's fantastic to see how much they've gelled as players, as teams from the different nations around the UK, all coming together for their franchises.
Yeah, and I was speaking to Liv Wimperney earlier before this final, and she said it's just so nice to play with the people we play against for Scotland and for Wales, and it's nice to be in the same team as them, and I think they've all benefited from that. But we will genuinely see how much this means to both teams, but at the end of this next quarter, because you'll see the elation on the winners and the disappointment on the losers when we get 8 minutes away from now.
8 minutes. Whoa, I'm excited. Right, here we go. So, into the final 8 minutes of the final of the first ever Fly. God, lots of F's today. And Liv Wimperney and Laura Merrifield. That's wonderfully taken by the young Anna Neville there. She's having a good game.
She certainly is, and she's passing it back to the ever reliable Laura Merrifield. Laura Warren almost came out with that, and this is a foot race now between Tors Anderson and Anna Neville, but Tors Anderson showing her experience
and
there.
it's one of those moments you just, wow, that's a great finish there from Laura. Oh, the excitement is getting more. Every time they score a goal, there's just that little bit more of a celebration. That's a lovely take there from Alex Drew.
Great take, and she just took it in a flow, didn't she? You could just see that she was going. Great save by Katie Greenwood.
As well kept on there by Alex Drew, who has roly-polied into one of our lovely fly signings at side, but she's okay.
I think that shows a little bit of lack of experience from Alex, because it came off the goalkeeper, so if it had gone off the sideline it would have been her ball anyway, and she just needs to settle down and just understand the balls as we go.
I think
further
that's just
in.
that competitive nature though coming through, you know.
Great
Always
turn.
want to keep the ball on. That's a lovely save. That was almost a textbook low save that you go for as a goalkeeper. You go for that step out, you push your hands out, and you really push that top hand over to smother the ball and stop it bouncing over. That was very nice looking save there from Katie Greenwood. Can you tell I'm a bit of a goalkeeping nerd, Jane?
I think it's great. You know, I think it is. I do know that you're a goalkeeper, and I know that you played in the England Talent Pathway teams, etc. But just to give that information is good for any young goalkeeper out there. Just listen to what Georgie says when she talks goalkeeping, because you can learn better technique if you listen to people who've done it before you, your coaches, other players, and then just try and do what they're asking you to
So
do.
Swift they're now slowly pushing ahead. So there's 4 goals in it. So it's 17-13 while we were waxing lyrical about the wonders that are goalkeeping. And yes, so we've got another timeout here. And so remaining, we have 6 minutes 13. And I can feel the sun nicely on the back of my legs. So it's quite an enjoyable day really here, Jane. I'm loving this. I almost don't want it to be over, but at the same time I would really like to see a winner. And before the game I did have Swift down as the favourites, and they are pushing ahead now by 4. That timeout is just coming to the end, but you know, Forge they're still in this.
I think the next minute will be quite a key minute, because if Swift score another, that takes them 5 goals ahead. So I think this is a really crucial time. But if Forge score, then it will become very, very interesting in the next 6 minutes.
Got Forge in possession here. A little bit of work between Liv Wimpney and Alex Drew there. It's found Liv Wimpney, who has found the back of the net, so it's a good start following that timeout. And Kate Greenwood finds Laura Merrifield, who is marked by Liv Wimpney, arms aloft, but can't prevent that shot there from Laura Merrifield. It was a nice finish, left-handed there.
It's almost like we've turned up the speed in the last few minutes, isn't it? Both teams are moving up quite quickly now, because they understand the urgency now of scoring.
Yeah, we don't want it to get frantic at this point, though. That, you know, they'll know they need to still keep calm, because as we've seen, when the games get frantic, balls get on the floor and there's a lot of gardening and chasing the ball, and we don't want that. It's all about
5 seconds.
This is when their stick work really
Take the shot.
becomes important. I'm not sure that would quite have been in time anyway, but that was a missed shot there by Ford. So it's picked up by Katie Greenwood, who is now being man-marked by Ellie Jones. Emma Brown throws it away a little bit there. Assumes that Miranda Nichols is 2 foot taller than she actually is.
And that's what pressure does. You know, you just overthrow or you underthrow, and, you know, they'll be getting a little bit tighter now, because it's getting closer and closer to the end of the quarter. 5 minutes to go, and you just end up overthrowing it. But, you know, Forge need to look to take shots a little bit early. 10 more seconds of this shot clock. They've got to look to make a shot.
That's a great pressure there from Tors Anderson. Unlucky, I think that might be done as a push, but it's a great bit of work from her against Liv Wimpney there. It's a funny thing, time though, Jane. If you've got 5 minutes left, if you're ahead, it seems to be taking forever. And you're like, I just want this to finish, and then they start catching up, and time does the funny things to you. Suddenly it feels like 5 minutes isn't 10 lots of 30 seconds.
No, you're absolutely right. And if you're losing, the time seems to go really quickly. It's like, no, slow down.
Exactly. And as we said yesterday, you've got your microwave minutes, which last far longer than any other minutes. Your treadmill minutes, which are treadmill hours. Basically, if you avoid the treadmill, you don't have to deal with treadmill minutes.
Correct. You're absolutely right. And I think they will be managing the clock now. I think the experienced players on the pitch, they'll be looking and they'll go 30 seconds for every shot. Let's try and take 30 seconds or near 30 seconds if I'm in the lead. If I'm trying to run after the game, let's see if we can do any fast breaks. Let's get the ball up there. And they've wound down that 30 seconds forward, so that's a really good start. Emily Chandler out to Anna Saunter. She's looking at Alex Drew, but going around the back of the goal. And then again, another high ball by Alex Drew, who's just snatching at it a little bit.
Yeah, so we've got 3 minutes 15 on the clock, 18-14 in favour of the Swift in the light blue. So we're just calming it down a bit here. Laura Merrifield finds Tors Anderson, who just indicates with her head. I love that in lacrosse, you know, the screen's flying everywhere. They just, you know, you just indicate with your head, like, get over there, while you've got both hands on your stick. And Laura Warren, lovely bit of work there. Finds Emma Brown, who has time on her hands and doesn't let it get to her. Finds the back of the net. Emily Chandler looking a little bit aggy about that one, wondering where her defenders were at that point. But now it's 19-14 in favour of Swift. We've got 2.5 minutes left. Let's see what Forge can do. They're in possession. They're just working it around nicely, but you do feel they need to hurry up a bit, and that will help. It's found the back of the net there by Ellie Jones, so she won't be too unhappy with that one, the Welsh player. And there we go again from the young Anna Neville. She'll be happy with that one.
Yeah, she's grown in this tournament. I think she, not physically, but, you know, as a player, she's grown.
Yeah, I think she's tall enough anyway.
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking. But she's really grown into the style of play. She's made it count. She's learnt off Laura Merrifield, Laura Warren, and you can see that she's now doing things that she wasn't doing when we started this tournament.
Yeah.
So,
and that shot there from Forge's number 62, Ellie Jones, had a lot of power on it, but it just found the side of the goal, whereas Tors Anderson finds the bottom corner. Sweet as you like.
And suddenly they've gone 6 goals ahead, and this game is very much in Swift favour now. You know, it's for them to just manage the time and let the time run down.
A few sloppy passes here from Forge. You can tell it's getting a bit pressured. You know, she went for the big wind up there and just dropped the ball out the back. It's gone off the back there from the shot and picked up by Katie Greenwood, who goes for the clear out to Laura Warren, who takes it nicely and passes it off to Tors Anderson. A few subs going on here. Just keeping it calm here, the Swift. That's a lovely save there from Emily Chandler.
Good effort by India Chadwick. And interestingly, I think Laura Warren thought she couldn't pick that up, but it came off the foot of the goalkeeper, so she could easily have picked that up and reset.
So she just threw her stick instead.
Yeah.
Why not? You know, throw your toys out the pram. Doesn't matter what age you are.
I think it's still that, they'll know the rules when they come off the pitch, but in the pressure situation, I think there's just a little bit of a panic at times.
Yeah, so we've got less than a minute remaining now. And Liv Wimpey just can't find the back of the net there, so it's gone off the back, picked up by Katie Greenwood. 50 seconds on the clock and 6 goals in it. So that's a lovely block there. It's great
Ellie
work
Jones.
there by Ellie Jones. Sometimes,
And again,
she
she's
deserved
picked it
this
up.
goal.
She
deserved
well there.
that, very much so. She's taken herself off, a little breather. I think she's allowed that.
Oh, ball is thrown away by Katie Greenwood, but with only 38 seconds to go. I think this is beyond the Forge now.
Yeah.
But they want to finish on a high, so they'll keep pressing.
Let's see what Liv Wimpey can do here. She passes it off. Nicely round the goal there by Alex Drew. But kept out. Good pressure by the Swift defence here. And a lovely save again by Katie Greenwood. And you think they would just slow it down here. They've got 30 seconds, so actually they could hold it on a possession because they won't run down the shot clock. But you feel you'd want to end the tournament on a high with a goal. Look, she looks up, she's found the free player. Oh, unlucky there by Flora McPherson. That could have been a nice finish to the game, but we've still got 6 seconds. You never know what could happen. Can Forge finish on a high? Is she going to take that shot, Liv Wimpey? It's a nice save by Katie Greenwood. Is she going to set off up the pitch? That'd be quite exciting. And that is it. We have our first ever champions of the fly, and it is the team in light blue. It's the Swift who have beaten Forge 21-16. But it was a tighter game than the scoreboard might suggest, Jane, but they are elated. You can see them all hugging by the goal there.
I think it was a great game, but I think thoroughly well deserved to the Swift, who've dominated throughout the tournament.
They haven't lost a game, so you'd be quite pleased with yourself on that.
But great effort by the Forge, who actually challenged well for 3/4 of the game, and that gives us a lot of excitement for the future, because it means we've now got at least 48 girls who played, 48 women who've played the sixes now, and we can take that forward and to develop the discipline into a little bit more knowledge and a little bit more experience. So I think a win-win for all of us, really.
It's been a win for me. I've been partnered up with you all weekend, so that's been quite fun. It's been amazing, this, as a tournament, and I think deserved victors there. So they're all coming out to celebrate the other team at the centre here. Who would you say was your player of the game in that one?
It's interesting, isn't it? Because it's difficult to look beyond the experience of Laura Merrifield, Laura Warren, but I really like the way Anna Neville's grown into it.
Oh, you've stolen mine. I was going to say Anna Neville. I thought she did a great job there. Yeah, I thought it was a great job there from Anna Neville. She's grown into herself as a player, and she's got a very bright future ahead of her, I feel.
Yes, I think she's learnt a lot.
Yeah, and I think we're probably going to hear from head coach Karina Walsh in a minute. She'll be a very happy coach over there as her team celebrate and high-five the Forge players, who still look they're still a very smiley bunch. They've all had a lot of fun. There's a few hugs going on.
Yeah, and Karina Walsh has done a lot of junior coaching, but I think this might have been her first step into senior representative team coaching. So, a great display from her too.
Yeah, and it was lucky. The rain kept off for the final, so we've had a nice sunny final. It's just been fantastic to see really professional, great games of lacrosse. That was a great finish there we've just seen. So we're going to hear from Karina, who will be elated, and a very celebratory Sunday afternoon for her.
I am really pleased to be here with Karina Walsh, head coach of Swift. Congratulations. How does that feel?
It feels amazing. I mean, we've won every game we've played in this tournament. There was a lot of pressure on our shoulders going into this final as the ones to beat, which is sometimes quite tough. But the team delivered, and yeah, it feels good.
It is 6 out of 6, and it's 21-16 in the final.
Yeah.
That is incredible. What an advert for lacrosse and sixes, of course.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, these players have delivered everything I've asked of them, and even when there's been moments where we've dropped a goal or we've even been level, they have been able to regain that composure and come back out and keep going.
Now, you led at the end of the first 3/4, but you were down twice at points, but you took it away in the fourth. Were you always in control?
I mean, that's something we talked about, and if we ever lost control for a moment, we were very good at regaining it and getting that composure back. There were moments where we maybe weren't in control as we'd like to be, but we pulled it back. So.
Now, across the weekend, any highlights for you?
I mean, obviously winning is a huge highlight, but just being able to work with this team that I have been given. The team I was given, and I feel like I've been really blessed with that team.
Will we see you coaching some more sixes in the future?
I hope so. I'd love it. It's a fantastic sport, and it's really exciting.
And of course, sadly, the team's depart now. What do you do for the next couple of hours or so? Do you say goodbye, or are you going to keep in touch?
I don't know. It's going to be. I mean, our team they're so well gelled. They're all talking about team tours and everything already. So who knows? We don't know. We're just living in this moment for now.
Karina, this is your moment. Congratulations. Go and enjoy it with your team. Well done.
Thank you very much.
So lovely to hear there from Karina. Very happy team. And Jane, it was just quite a good game, really, wasn't it? It was nice to finish off on a very good game. It wasn't scrappy, it was well fought. It wasn't one-sided. We've seen a bit of everything in that.
It was excellent, and I think they're so elated that I've got a feeling that Emma Brown wants to speak to us as well. So I believe we're ready to listen to the player number 22, Emma Brown, for the Swift.
I am, yeah. England defend.
I am here with Emma Brown, player for Swift. Congratulations, how does that feel?
Thank you, it's so great. The effort everyone's put in is incredible. Everyone over the weekend has put such effort before, and the motivation, inspiration playing with all these incredible people around us, and the first time playing sixes in the world. So one of the first tournaments, and it's been so great, so fun, and it's great to come out on top.
I mean, you won 6 out of 6. It was a dominant performance. You were favourites going into that one.
Yeah.
But you saw at the final whistle the way you celebrated. That meant so much, didn't it?
Yeah, I guess the previous weekend we won all our matches, the pressure was on, but we kind of took that on a high, came into this weekend just making sure we'd enjoy ourselves, and all of these games were so close. And I mean, we were down yesterday in the semi-final, we came back from 7-7 at half time and came out 16-10. So that was kind of a great game to show us that we could come up from losing. So today, the final, everyone kind of went in, there was pressure on us. We were all a bit nervous, all really excited. Watching the other game this morning, but it's so exciting to come out as a winner.
There's a huge smile on your face. You've enjoyed the format, haven't you?
So great, yeah. Can't wait to play it again next year.
Look, go and enjoy this with your teammates. Congratulations. Thanks so much
Thank
for your
you.
time. Cheers, Al.
Thanks.
Obviously, an elated Emma Brown there. Very happy with their victory. You can see the Swift girls all coming off here, smiles on their faces.